Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Yeah, way better. It was connected to my cell phone's internet. My apologies. That was my fault. Anyway, rise and shine. We are here for Coffee Talk on a Wednesday morning. It is November the 2nd. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And now that I'm on the correct Wi-Fi network, now we can chat, and chat we shall. Top two things that we are monitoring today. First off, it's quite toasty outside. Yeah, the temperature's well above average. We're going to be discussing that. Plus, we're going to be looking at the longest weekend of the year. Did you know? Did you know that that's this weekend? The longest weekend of the year. Yeah. We'll be talking all about it just ahead. Oh, and then there's all that tropics stuff. We'll also be talking about that. But first, may I just do this moment of Zen time? Yeah, I don't even want to talk right now. Can we just breathe in, breathe out? That is a lovely shot. We're looking over Brevard County. That's a look from Cocoa toward Port Canaveral. It is stunning, right? Let me look down to Melbourne. Yep, airport looking good. Looking good. Let's head to the Kennedy Space Center. Starship's tower being constructed. Blue sky, little haze. Let's head up to New Smyrna Beach, see what's doing. Oh, man. That's a shot of the Ponce Inlet. Looking good. We do have a little bit of fog up here in Ocala. Heading into the metro. Orlando looking good. Orlando traffic looking good. Orlando traffic looking good. Spaceship Earth looking good. Yeah, our tower cams are all looking pretty good. Oh, last but not least. And of course, it's not even working. Thing. Wasted my time. All right, temperatures out the door. It is 72 in Leesburg, 70 degrees in the Villages, 73 in Orlando, upper 60s up in Ocala. Sure, it is just a warm, muggy start to the day. Our first warning live Doppler radar. Looking over here to southern Brevard County, Indian River County, watching a few of these light showers, nothing too bad. And they're kind of just popping up and around. So if you live down around Mico, Grant, Valcaria, can't rule out a shower or so impacting you. But generally, it's a nice, quiet start to our day. Look ahead, though. We are going to be tracking some showers later on today. 30, 40% coverage. Nancy says no to Taveri's camera. I forgot. Stand by. I mean, breathtaking. How could I forget this? My apologies. All right, now back over to see what's doing there. Yeah, that's nice. All right, so we've got a couple of showers dialed into the forecast later today. We'll run at about a 40% coverage of rain. It's going to be a lovely one. Other than that, notice the temperatures. Today, 87. We hit 90 yesterday. We hit 90 the day before. It has been a stretch of decent heat. Records around Central Florida yesterday. We had talked about this on our afternoon coffee talk. Leesburg did end up getting officially that record. Orlando, that ended up rounding up to 90 degrees, which makes sense. So didn't get a record in Orlando or Sanford, but we were awful close. Leesburg got to a new record. The old one back in 1968 fell just a couple of ticks below a record, Daytona Beach. And Melbourne, your weather was lovely. Susan says, yay, Taveri, thank you. You're welcome. Annie says, it's beautiful. It is. No matter what tower cam we were using this morning, it is all just beautiful. So in terms of temperatures, we know that it's going to be an above average day. We know there's going to be a few showers, but where do we go? 87 in Orlando, 85 degrees in Ocala. We're running 80 degrees in Palm Coast, 82 degrees New Smyrna Beach and Titusville, and about 86 for us in Bithlo. So yeah, it's lovely out. Let's take a look at Futurecast, though, and try and detail those showers. First off, nice and quiet for the morning, but notice into the afternoon, we do start with a little bit of green popping up, especially around the inland areas. If you're beachside, maybe a coastal sprinkle, but I think that most of these showers are going to want to work inland little bit by little bit through the day. Sugar, I hit the wrong button. stand by. Inland through the day. There you go, kind of 5, 6, 6:30, and then eventually fading out little by little from there. So it's a few showers around. It's not a bad day at all. Couple things for today. If you're heading out to the attractions, of course, Volcano Bay, a lovely spot. Once the fog lifts, it's like yesterday. It's going to be bright, cheery, sunny, lovely. Yeah, temperatures climbing to 82 by lunchtime. And while there will be rains developing, it's not going to be this kind of rain out, wash out of a scenario. We will have some showers to deal with, but it's going to be pretty nice. 87 degrees our 3 o'clock temperature. All right. Melissa says, heading to the Dominican Republic and Turks on a cruise next week. What do you think of the systems out there? Yeah, well, we'll definitely be talking the tropics. I do want to start with local weather, and then we can get to the tropics, because there is, ironically, a lot to discuss tropically. All right. So let's just stick local for a few seconds. Yesterday marks the 143rd 90-degree day of the year. We're not far from the most ever more than 100 years ago. Yeah, we had 152 90-degree days in Orlando back in 1919. We are at 143 this year. So when we look at the numbers, where do you think that ranks? Fourth. We're in fourth place. Yeah, we're in fourth place. We are in the most 90-degree days we have seen since what? The Dust Bowl? Yeah, so it's definitely been a stretch of 90-degree days. Now, officially, we are not getting there today in the forecast, but we'll be close. So would it surprise me if we end up there? No, it's definitely a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. Need some rain, this pollen. Ugh, Marie says. Oh, I know. Robin, it was really nice watching you with Al yesterday. It was so much fun. We'll have to talk about that. Tracy, how does this weekend look for Run Disney? I forgot that there were races, so I will definitely put those races together, those forecasts for the races together today. I will do that. How did the weekend look, though? Here's a look at Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast. Today, a few showers, a little drier for tomorrow, Friday. And then, for Saturday, looking better. Sunday looks to have a few showers around. And you see that little icon there, Saturday into Sunday? What is that? Oh, I think you have an idea. It is time, my friends, to fall back. Can you believe it? Yeah. It's the longest weekend of the year. Daylight saving time ends at 2 a.m., so the new sunrise on Sunday will be 6:41 a.m. Sunrises 5:36 p.m. The sun sets. Yowza. That's going to be something. Jeannie says, coffee finally made. What a morning. Jeannie, let's rise and shine together. Let's get that morning off on the right note. Good morning, my dear. Michelle's asking, is it possible we break that record this year for most 90-degree days? I mean, we have a ways to go. If you just look at the 7-day forecast, we need another, was it 8 to set the new record? I mean, we're in the ballpark today. We're in the ballpark this weekend. It's possible. Chris says we don't want to be number one in this case. Yeah, this is one of those examples I'm not personally desiring a title. You know what I mean? Debbie says this Sunday is the New York City Marathon. Yes, the gentleman that I was working with from NBC is running it. It's his first marathon, which that's pretty impressive, you ask me. Patty says this warmer weather is not helping with the pollen and allergies. I know. Spring is springing, right? We haven't even gotten through winter yet, and springing. Yeah, you and I'll make a great duo. Loved your talk and walk with him. It was so fun, Ann. Thank you. Chris says, told the doctor I hadn't had a fall. Does this weekend with the dad jokes? At least we get an extra hour of sleep, but I do not love changing the clocks. It messes me up for days. I know. At some point, this has to stop, right? I mean, we've been doing it for so long, but the purposes for doing it, are they antiquated? You know, it's so funny. Every time that I post this, every time this comes around and I post these things, I feel like the world erupts in anger. Like, who still likes this? That's kind of where I'm at. Who still likes doing this? I don't know. Annie says, you were so happy with Al. So happy with Al. You know, it's funny. He's been such an inspiration to me. And, you know, when you meet that guy and you're worried because you don't know, how is he? Is he a nice guy? Is he not a nice guy? And it's like, it's Al Roker. He's done this 100 years. He meets 100 people a minute, you know. But he was so nice. I was so grateful that he was as nice as he was. You know? What do they say? They say never meet your hero, right? Because you've got the opportunity to be disappointed. And I was concerned, I'm not going to lie. I was worried, but he was pretty great. Annie says, so were you starstruck? You know, I feel like in TV news, everybody does the same job. And so I don't know that I would say that I was starstruck. I would say that when he walked up, I was excited. I was excited to get a chance to work with him, you know? Yeah. I was starstruck for Dave Matthews because it's a whole other level. But this makes me sound pathetic, so here we are. So anyway, yeah. But I wouldn't say that I was starstruck. I was just very excited. Yeah. And I think that the more I've been in television, the more I learn that you just kind of have to, because I've met some really awesome people through my job. And I feel like you have to be chill about it. A, because you don't want them to be like, meh. But B, like, if I'm working with this person, I need to be professional. I need to be cool, calm, and collected. And so, you know, you got to keep your wits about you. So, but it was pretty darn. I mean, it's Uncle Al, man. It's Uncle Al. What else do you say? Rosemary says, I've met him in New York City. He is energetic and positively pleasant and patient. That was what struck me. Like when I thought about the kind of day, and then we'll get to the tropics in a couple seconds. When I thought about the day that the man had, like think about it. He got into Orlando the night before, probably did a run through of the walk. And then after that, got to sleep, came out, did segments with me, did segments for a couple of other remote stations, did the Today Show. After the Today Show, he came back to Wesh, did Coffee Talk with me at Wesh, did promo lines with Kellyanne, did like a town hall scenario with Manalfi, and then after that, went in the newsroom like a fish in an aquarium and took pictures with half the staff. And the man smiled the entire time. And then after that, he went to the airport. And then after that, he flew back to New York. And then after that, he finally got home. I'm like, that's a long day. And in that long day, he was turned on. He was on stage basically the whole time. Good man. Good man he is. He took time for everybody. From the part-time person to the general manager. Everybody got an equal opportunity with Al. And he has a way of making you feel special. He latches on. Like I had mentioned to him that I grew up watching him and his wife on TV here. He, of course, was on the Today Show, and his wife used to be a local news anchor here in Orlando before she moved up to New York. And he teased me all morning about it, you know? And some people thought that it was in bad taste. And I'm like, you know, but he went out of his way to try and make sure that I stood out to him. And he did that with everybody. That's quite something special of him, you know? He never once was like, I don't have time. When I saw him out at Universal, he was out with everybody that showed up. He was being a ham, and that's okay, you ask me. That's okay, you ask me. Kelly says, I was starstruck when I worked with you the first time. Oh, geez. And then I was like, oh, I get his sarcasm. We're going to get along just fine. Yeah. And now I get your sarcasm with the starstruck. Victoria, I bet it was a long day for him. Did he even get sleep? He was standing with me. We had a 6:15 hit. He was standing with me at like 6:05. And I don't know what time they got in from New York the night before. But yeah, that's a long day. Like when you think about it, he showed up with his cup of coffee and his smile on his face. He was there at 6:05. And I bet you he didn't get home until 6 o'clock that night, maybe even later. That's a 12-hour day. And you know that he was away from his face. It's a lot, you know? Sabrina, I think in today's day and age, patience isn't a common courtesy anymore. So when I get it, that moves my spirit. Yeah, there's something to that, right? There's something to that. Kelly says you moved your desk back. Yeah, but I've got the boxes back. Like the boxes are back there, so I'm trying to cover it up strategically with my chair so that you can't tell that I'm human and I have a mess I'm concealing. So there, perfect. Oh boy. Oh, and getting your coffee delivered to you, that was fun too. Yes, Karen, right? Well, it's like Coffee Talk, the name has just become wallpaper to me. Because when I do it normally, I do have coffee. But we made adjustments for Al's schedule. And when we did it, it's like, I guess we didn't have coffee. So Becca, our morning executive producer at WESH, ran in with 2 cups of coffee. Yep. He is a professional indeed, Betty. And not just a professional, but I think, and people, it's funny. I had mentioned this and somebody was like, well, he makes enough money. He should be nice to people. And it's like, what does money have to do with it? The man's got to get tired after a while, you know? So he goes above and beyond. And certainly at that level, it's an expectation, but it's not lost on me. You know, when I see him off stage, so to speak, and he's still so kind and so nice to everybody around, that's the part he's not getting paid for. That just says his character. Something to be said there. So anyway, all right. It was great. Karen, inquiring minds need to know, was the coffee Pilone? No, at work, this is Pilone. The coffee at work was Green Valley. It's WESH coffee. It was WESH coffee. It has enough kick that it helps you, but it's not like a shoulder massage coffee. Listen, it's like dating me. It's a thing. You're not going to go telling your friends about it, you know? That's where that's at. Okay. You had the trash water coffee. Listen, I know. You could doctor it up a little bit, but yes, I know. All right. Shall we talk weather? Shall we go back and do a little bit? I didn't prepare, Kelly. This is my fault. All right. Let's talk a little bit about weather. First off, in the tropics, breaking news. We have Hurricane Lisa making its way toward Belize, Central America, Mexico, and then eventually into the Caribbean. Now, may I point out, while we're discussing this, if we go to our calendars for today, what does the calendar on the top say? I don't know if you can see it. Oh, chicken and rice soup. Yeah, I made dinner for tonight. But what else did we say? Possible Gulf. No, don't delete the event. Possible Gulf storm. Now, is it a little further south in the Caribbean but working into the Gulf? It is, but we indicated it on the 13th of October. Cool stuff, right? All right. Anyway, so there it is. There's Lisa making landfall, expected to wander over toward the Bay of Campeche. All right. No threat to Central Florida for now, but it is a hurricane expected to make landfall later today. In the North Atlantic, Tropical Storm Martine expected to become a hurricane later today. Maximum sustained winds currently at 65 miles an hour. Winds are at 65 now, 75 later today, 85 Thursday, and it is expected during that time frame to start becoming an extratropical system. So it's going to lose the feeding off the warm water because there's not warm water up there, and just kind of feed more atmospherically from above. So that's that. In addition to that, let's head down to like the Caribbean / Atlantic near us. This is what we've been watching for quite a while. Models are indicating something forming here. It's going to be slow, nothing quickly, but over the next couple of days' time, a 20% likelihood that something gets going. We've shown it on the models for a while now, so this is no surprise. More than likely, this is something that's going to head our direction. Does it get strong? We're not really expecting that, but there is something there to it. So let's do this. Let's look at the computer models and let's talk nerdy, shall we? This, the 6Z run of the GFS, the most recent one we've got. If you're in listening mode, if you're listening in podcast mode or on listening mode on the live broadcast, I will be as descriptive as I can. So, GFS, mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. The orange shades that you see, that's high pressure. It's lovely out. So we're in a sea of high pressure down here. That near the Belize coast, Central America coast, that, of course, is Lisa, working toward landfall. So that's not a big issue, certainly for us. We'll roll through time. Oh, and timestamp is up here. It's in Zulu time, so I'll just live convert it for you. Not a problem. Start watching here. You see these blue shades around the Dominican Republic, Haiti, the Caribbean? That's the model saying, hey, now see those greens? Those are even lowered pressures. It's a big mess. And that's the one point I want to make is that the models are not trying to deepen this into like a beast, but they're definitely trying to show something there. All right. That is, let's just go to a nice round number. That's 12Z, Monday, November 7th. So this upcoming Monday, 12Z, which is 7 a.m. because remember, time change. So it's not 8 a.m. anymore. It's 7 a.m. All right. Jennifer says, all I can think about with this East Coast system is the LRC. Yeah, this is going to be the first indicator for us. All right. All right. Let's continue through. Moving in. Interestingly enough, the actual low comes in around the Cape. Let's just say, for a great many reasons, we don't want that to happen. It's going to be weak this time, but if this plays out the way the model's showing right now, at least this particular run, this is an indicator for our East Coast come hurricane season next year. So when on March the 1st we meet, I want you to try and remember this. On March the 1st, when it's hurricane season forecast 2023 and we meet, and it's like, are you ready to see our hot spots? I want you to remember November 2nd. I mean, we've talked about this for a while, but let's just say November 2nd. Let's round it. I want you to remember November 2nd and me saying, well, poo. Okay? So, there's the indicator. Interestingly enough, there's that. Let's show kind of hanging out, bringing us wet weather from about Wednesday of next week, Thursday, Friday, and then eventually it kind of gets absorbed by a front and moves out. Keeping going. Something else down here. Let me bring it full screen for you. Something else down around Central America. That would be Wednesday, November 16th. And that's the end of the GFS. All right. So that's the end of the GFS. Let's switch around and let's look at the European. All right, European moves ashore. Pressures are lowering. Coming to Florida around some sort of a storm system comes to Florida around the 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. Not. All right, let's look at the ensembles. Let me get that dialed up here. What's an ensemble? If you're new to Coffee Talk, the ensembles, when we look at them tropically, the ensembles, think of them as the different flavors of the model. So it's the same model, just run several different ways, several different times, okay? It gives us a chance to see what different conditions of each model show. So in this case, this is Friday, November 4th. Nothing of note. We do start to see the Caribbean coming alive, though, around the 7th. You see all those ensemble members? Now, we can look at each one individually. 1,004, 1,003, 1,005, 1,004, 1,003, 1,003, 1,002, 1,004. So it's not going terribly deep, but there are ensemble members, and there are many ensemble members that are now bringing something toward Florida. So that's one of the reasons why the Hurricane Center has kind of dialed into this. I have to put my piece of paper up for fall. Every fall, I have to put a piece of paper up to block my face from these dots. But that's where the Hurricane Center is seeing, is they're seeing all these ensemble members. That's the GFS ensemble showing something around here and then kind of looping back around. If we switch over and look at the European ensemble plots, there's your cluster of systems. Yeah, look at that. There's your cluster of models. And then looking at the pressures themselves, 1,003, 1,005, 1,001. So nothing strong. But again, could we see some sort of a hybrid system? It's possible. Yeah, it definitely could see some sort of a hybrid system moving our direction. And this is why the National Hurricane Center has gone ahead and started saying that there's something possible. Oh, broad low. Come on, Kellyanne class. Hold on a second. Let me fix it. This is the inside baseball. Stand by. This is the updating the graphics, the side that you never see. And then let me text Kellyanne. Fixed a spelling error. Stand by. Kellyanne class, where are you? There you are. Fixed a spelling error on the tropical sea. Okay. All right. So there you go. So that's why the Hurricane Center did that. It's something we're going to watch, right? So that's where we're at. Kelly says, you give me a hurricane on my birthday, I'm going to give you an earthquake for yours. Fair is fair. I'm a little frightened. So we aren't done with this hurricane stuff yet, are we? No, Terry. No, we're still very much in hurricane season. Yeah. We don't need another hurricane. I'm not forecasting a hurricane. I think more than likely what we're going to end up seeing is some sort of a hybrid system that brings us rain, but is a pretty good indicator of obvious signal for next year. All right? All right. Artemis is supposed to launch when that low is supposed to hit the Cape. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Hold on. No, Artemis is the 14th. This is days before Artemis, and this just looks to be rain. This is, none of these lows are really going bonkers in terms of strength. So that's where we're at. We're not talking anything too strong. I don't think that'll impact it at all. Jan says, this was my life as a graphics artist, filling everyone's spelling. Yeah. Well, for me, it's keeping templates looking decent. Crystal says, 29 days left of hurricane season. That's right. And hurricane season's not done until it's done. Just call a spade, right? Oh, I got to fix this because it doesn't have it as a hurricane yet. But anyway, that's where we're at. Questions, comments, concerns, anything? So what we'll watch for on our 7-day forecast, you see the Tuesday rain chance going up. It's probably going to continue trending wetter Wednesday, Thursday as that storm system kind of starts coming into focus a bit more for Central Florida. All right. Jennifer, how warm is the water over there? Oh, in the Caribbean and the Atlantic, it's low to mid 80s on the lower side, mid to upper 80s still in the Caribbean. So yeah, we still have plenty of fuel. All right. Does it have to repeat in January to be an indicator? No, it will repeat, but does it have to be like a major repeat? No, but it's going to repeat. Yeah. Jenny says, and even when hurricane season is done, it doesn't mean we can't still get a hurricane. We have had tropical systems every single month of the year. Did you know that? Yeah. Speaking of tropical systems, and every month of the year, as we start a new month, I was out with Al yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to do this. Here is your almanac for the month of November, friends. Our average high temperature is 81 right now. This is typically Orlando's driest month. We will average a high temperature in the 70s by the end of the month. Yes. Yes. Just saying, for what it's worth. We're getting there. All right. All right. Listen, be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so very much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals this afternoon at 3:30 for the afternoon Coffee Talk. Let's stay dialed into the tropics next couple of days, shall we?